Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Give me a what's up down in the chat, the live comments. Say, Kevin, I see you. All right. And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth Estrada, and you're on the Mind Your Biz channel on YouTube, of course, being syndicated out to Odyssey as well. We're there after the fact, not live, but after it posts. We're over on odyssey.com. Be sure that you subscribe to us there, just in case, for any reason, YouTube decides to give us a little nudge off the platform. That's been known to happen to crypto mining content producers and anybody talking about cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin in general here on YouTube. So your support is appreciated. Thank you for being subscribed here, obviously, clicking the thumbs up and sharing this video to other people so we have a thriving conversation as we talk about the Fear and Greed Index. We are still ranging sideways in extreme fear. Today's score is 22, updated just a few minutes ago, down from 23. Definitely still in extreme fear, which is ironic considering what is happening. Greg Moravec in the comment section, letting us know he's still alive. Brother, I cannot tell you actually how important that is for me to hear from you based on our private conversation earlier on today. If you are in the live chat right now, everybody say what's up to Greg and thank him, right? Congratulate him on still being alive. That's actually quite a feat some days. Some days it's harder than others. So Greg, glad you're with us. But we have our Fear and Greed Index number all the way down to 22. I'm a little bit perplexed by this, and I'll tell you why a little later on. But all the way back up here, this is our legend for anybody who's not familiar with the Fear and Greed Index. This is available at alternative.me/crypto/fear-and-greed-index. I know I spelled that out for anybody who's just listening, but you can find this on alternative.me. This is a freely available measurement of public sentiment, right? So we've got Reddit, we've got Twitter, and there are automated algorithms that are able to sort of query the sentiment and sort of scrape the data and make sense of how people feel about cryptocurrency assets. And right now, there's still extreme fear. We haven't even broken the number 25, which would tell us that we're only fearful, right? That we're out of extreme fear. So it's pretty intense. We got Yankee in the comment section saying, hey, I'm all in. I'm all the way up. It's the last pump before the real dump. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit, guys. And let me also just make sure that I definitely have the real-time chat, the live chat going. We're not at that point where I need to separate comments into people that are only giving super chats. We're not there yet. We haven't grown to that level yet. But when we do cross 10,000 subscribers, we might grow towards that point. As it is right now, you just have to be a subscriber, and you can't just be here like just to hate, right? Like hit and run, you're an idiot, you're ugly, and then take off. So you just have to be subscribed, and then you can tell me I'm an idiot, and then I'm ugly, and then take off. But you have to be subscribed first. All right, Fear and Greed, we're at a number of 22. I think this is actually good. Yankee mentions in the live stream comments that he's all in and he's concerned about a real dump after this. He may well be true, and we'll take a look at our chart last thing, as per usual, as per the format of the show. Before we do that, though, just want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by the Freedom Phone. And no, not the one that you're thinking about, the one that we've sold on mindyour.biz for almost a year already. It's basically a Google Pixel device that's been fully de-Googled, reflashed, and has several accessories that make you more private. Things like a privacy shield and a protective TPU case, as well as a proven surveillance-free USB Type-C cable and wall charger. So we're also including a Faraday bag. It's not listed on the site right now. We only have 2 more of this model left before we upgrade to the newer model. That's right. We're going to be going entirely just to the Pixel 4 XL in the future. It's just a cooler phone, right? It's a phablet design. We don't really say that anymore. Every phone is huge these days, and the Pixel 4 XL is pretty darn big. It's like a 6.5-inch screen and much higher pixel density. B's telling me in the comment section, might be time for you to break out that trademark. That may well be true. As it is right now, that's not a battle that I want to pick today. We're probably just going to rebrand it. Open to suggestions. Maybe we let the community rebrand it, because right now I almost don't even want to be associated with what's going on that new offering. This was a working title for the phone anyway. I didn't really plan on keeping this name for the phone forever. It seemed a little bit corny to me. I know that it resonates with some people, but I don't want to sell people smoke and mirrors. I don't want to sell people snake oil the way that a drop shipped Umidigi A9, not even the A9 Pro, but a drop-shipped Umidigi A9, very low-spec phone with a MediaTek SoC. If I'm speaking over anybody's head, the main brain of that phone. It's made by a company called MediaTek, and it's the bottom of the barrel as far as mobile technology goes. Developers don't want to touch it. They all want to work on Qualcomm, the Snapdragon SoCs. That's what we have in here with the Pixel device, as well as, of course, a relockable bootloader, all the other stuff. All the other stuff that you'd want in a more security-minded phone. Cryptid Youth says the other one should be the free dumb phone. Spelled like, you know, a person that can't speak. Get it? They're free dumb. Only they're not free. That's the thing. They're $500 for a rebadged, drop-shippable Umidigi A9 that's still made in Shenzhen, and then routed through Hong Kong to help buyers here in the United States feel better. I've got a bone to pick with this, guys. I'm very upset. I'm extremely upset with Tim Pool over giving this joker more air. So without being like bitter about it, I'm not bitter about it, right? They also just had a better marketing budget. They got to market with a much bigger scale and getting a hold of all of these like far right politician heroes. So whatever. I wasn't willing to take that kind of like shake hands with some of these people. So they got there first. I think we just rebrand. Really, I think we're fine. But we have two more of the earlier model available. Going to move to the Pixel 4 XL very soon. Likely just rebrand it and just walk away, guys, right? Live and let live. Their customers will come back and say, hey, I'm really upset because it didn't do X, Y, or Z, or I found that it was leaking metadata here. We're going to find somebody who's actually understands technology, review the thing, do some kind of a breakdown, or do some kind of packet sniffing for that device, and then do the expose. That's happening, right? That's not a function of opinion. That's just going to happen. So anyway, we've taken far too much time talking about that. Let's talk about Fiat Leak. This is a new part of the segment right now. I just want to get a visualization of where in the world all of the crypto is going. Before we take a look at specifically what our GPU mining profits are, I want to take a look at a couple of the higher cap cryptocurrencies and see where in the world they're headed to. A lot of Korean won going out to South Korea in Ethereum. So heavily being mined there. Obviously, a lot of euro being exchanged for Ethereum as well. I said mined. I apologize, but this fiat money is being pumped into the crypto ecosystem right now. So plenty going out to South Korea, almost as much as the exchange going into the euro. And then the US dollar, of course, it is the sort of the de facto world currency. And so it's not surprising to see that a lot of US dollars are being spent on Ethereum. But just taking a look at that, guys, if you haven't seen this before, another free resource, fiatleak.com. You can use this to get a sense for where in the world all the cryptocurrency is going when people are buying it. Now, the beauty part is us as miners, this chart doesn't reflect what we do. What we do in terms of getting some kind of a Coinbase transaction or getting the earliest transaction from a mining pool prevents this kind of tracking from happening over the KYC rails. So I love mining for that reason. You should love mining for that reason. Everybody you're associated with should love hanging out with you for that reason, right? Everybody should be friends with a miner. And this is precisely why, is fiatleak.com right here kind of shows you how things are going. And before we check into our GPU mining profits, also want to take a quick look at txstreet.com. Thank you so much, DCA Adventure, for reminding me earlier on today. Gandhi, what's up? Speak of the devil. But DCA Adventure, Crypto Mikkel, and the rest of the DCA team looking at TX Street. It's another great resource, guys. We might bring this up in the future. Just right now, I wanted to compare a couple of really quick things in terms of throughput. We're mining Ethereum largely when we're on GPUs. And the reason that we're mining Ethereum on GPUs, the reason that there's so much profit available is because of the gas fees and because of how much trading volume is taking place on Ethereum. It's not just Ether. So here on TX Street, we're able to see exactly all the other services you see on this far left-hand column over here, all the other services that are contributing to that transaction volume. We've got Curve, right? We've got Kyber. We've got 0x. We've got Rarible. We've got SushiSwap. We've got MetaMask. We've got USDC, which is measured all by itself. We've got Maker. We've got Tether. And we've got Uniswap. All these different facets of what we know as DeFi in the Ethereum ecosystem. It all goes in to building up these stats. And as miners, you see right here that mempool count, that's 75,000 plus number of transactions that's just waiting to be processed. That for us is huge opportunity. And when you look over at the Bitcoin side of TX Street, just comparing apples to apples, the mempool over on Bitcoin is about right now, real time, about 257. Now, that's not good, that's not bad, but it is different. And the biggest difference for us as people who secure the blockchain through proof of work mining is that through MEV and just through fees, right? Just through bare fees, even if MEV didn't give additional incentive to restructure some of how these transactions are processed, there is just more going on. There's more velocity, there's more volume on a regular basis. And while we see that that's the case, there's more funding for security, aka mining, right? That's why where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. Thanks for being here with me tonight to talk about this as GPU miners. It's been the biggest opportunity for years now. And unfortunately, yes, there may be some changes after the merge, right? The Beacon Chain merge in the future, moving towards Ethereum 2.0, and after the London hard fork, right? We're going to see some differences here, but we can track those over time if we take a look at useful tools like this on TX Street. It'll give us a sense for what's going on. Casual Mining, thanks for saying hello down in the comment section. Good to see you. But yeah, we see the mempool count right there. All of that, that's just backlogged work for us to organize and for us to get paid to help in securing and adding to the blockchain as GPU miners securing Ethereum. Now, do we personally do that? Obviously, no. The pools do, right? Cryptid Youth says, mining is crashing. Now sell me your GPUs. I refuse, sir. You sell first. Okay. So, but right now we see, as far as fees go on both these networks, Ethereum is showing a median ETH transfer fee. Now this is just Ether, right? The native gas token for Ethereum, right? But it's Ether, and the median fee is 73 cents. That's not terrible compared to what it's been historically since DeFi Summer 1.0 and now going into DeFi Summer 2.0. However, you look at the median contract fee and it's varying anywhere between $3 all the way up to $12 sometimes and even higher. And that median contract fee is going to be what people interact with when they go to Uniswap, SushiSwap, Curve, Maker, etc. Every other place, there are going to be some issues there. All right, so yeah, just be aware of that, guys. I apologize. I'm doing a little bit of comment moderation as we go here. I apologize. No moderators here tonight. But MC, thanks for saying hello. And Benjamin, obviously, if you're wanting to sell, then bring that to Discord. If you guys don't know each other, definitely make those deals happen, guys. Let's try to support each other. It's always awesome when people from the community can help each other get the equipment they need and offload the equipment they're trying to get rid of, right? It's a win-win, and we know each other better that way. Reputation is far easier to manage when we work within the community. But this is a great tool, guys. txstreet.com. What do you say? Moving forward, should this be part of the mining market signal? Do we want to start tracking a little bit, at least roughly, what the median transfer fees are for contracts and then for typical transactions? So I'd like to, but you let me know in the comment section if you'd like to continue to see this data point. I think it's relevant to us, and I think it helps indicate for us how the opportunity is shaping up in the coming days and weeks. And I think especially after the London hard fork update and the inclusion of EIP 1559, I think we're going to really need to have our eyes on numbers like this to get a solid sense for how things are actually going. Something else I want you to pay attention to is in the UI right here. It's kind of cool, right? The way that txstreet.com organizes all of this information is visually as though all of these little transactions are little people jumping into a bus that represents a block being organized for inclusion on the blockchain. You notice how last second right there, this bus on the left side with Ethereum, the GUI figure right there, and just before it shows you the data that was spent, the GUI number is dynamic, right? It doesn't stay at, we'll jump way down here. Blocks that have yet to be organized, they show 10 GUI, they show 11 GUI, they show 12, and all the way up to the most recent block that's being structured right now, real time, and that's moving really, really fast. right? That's moving so fast because people want to have their transactions included. So in some cases, in MetaMask, you can get to that drop down and say, speed up my transaction. Click on that and you can pay a slightly higher fee. That's what's happening real time. And it's happening multiple times per minute, right? And so nearly, it's happening nearly 40 times for every one Bitcoin block. And so we're seeing those fees grow and grow and grow. Crypto Youth also is, yes, he's drawing attention to the fact that these are also like South Park characters, so they're hilarious to look at. But visually, it makes it very obvious to see. There you go, 20 Gwei before it gets organized, and we're not quite done yet. Nope, that's locked in. But 20 Gwei before all was said and done. Even though we think that the fees for organizing a block right now, having your transaction included into the Ethereum blockchain, are relatively low, we see right here, it is dynamic, it is part of a marketplace, and who benefits from that? Yeah, us, GPU miners. It's awesome. So I know somebody out there is going to be like, but proof of stake, Seth, you're so terrible. What about the environment? You're going to boil the oceans with your GPUs, and gamers need them. Well, if that's literally true, that we're boiling the oceans with GPUs that are all going to go to gamers, aren't the gamers going to boil the oceans once they all go to gamers and they're always gaming on them all the time? Because I really think that the electricity usage is going to be the same either way. Right? And if we're using renewables and all the other stuff, anyway, I think it's a fallacious argument. It's not a good one. But right here, TX Street, guys, let's go ahead and include that then. Glad I got that feedback from you. Thanks so much. Let's go to What to Mine to figure out what our profitability is for the day. Team Green, top of the stack, 14 cents per kilowatt hour is our number for acquisition of power. We got some comments coming in fast and furious. Benjamin saying, if you saw the true stats, mining uses less than ATMs. I believe you. Here's the thing. Benjamin, I believe you. I do. I believe that it uses less than ATMs. ATMs are ancient technology on ancient PCBs with extremely inefficient FPGAs, but and they're on 24/7. So there's no way that they could be efficient. And then when you look at other stuff like traditional banking, even just data centers that hold traditional banking information, the COBOL systems that deal with just entitlement programs in every single state, like payouts for like food stamps and stuff, all that infrastructure. When you combine all the traditional financial infrastructure and then you start weighing it against mining, yeah, now you're talking, because you're looking at a system that can eventually replace it. So yeah, most people's arguments come from a place of ignorance. All we can do is educate with love, right? I made a really terrible caricature before. If I were talking to somebody in my family or somebody who I know from like grade school or something, I'd be a lot more cautious, right? I wouldn't want to like bash them over the head with the numbers and say, yeah, you're an idiot, right? We got to educate them. But we also got some other comments coming in. Gundy saying, boil them, baby. I'm hungry for crab and lobster. Okay, so somebody wants to boil the oceans and be right there, and when he catches the day's catch, he wants it to already be cooked for his cookout. That's awesome. Bring the butter. Benjamin saying banking, buildings, and so on. And then goes on to say powered by buildings full of lights and air conditioning too. That's true. It's old school data center technology, right? With active cooling and chillers, right? This is not airside economy the way that we do mining. You even heard me be critical of people who say like, well, I got to do like cable management and stuff. There's only a certain amount of all that needs to happen in order for networks to be efficient enough to contribute and be meaningful on the Ethereum and on the Bitcoin network. Now, obviously, at some point in the future, it's going to resemble a lot more the way that those high-end data centers are now, because those efficiencies will have to be met in order to be competitive and in order to keep the system running and scaling in the way that it needs to be for Bitcoin and for Ethereum or for other proof-of-work systems and networks that require large-scale hash rate. But we're not there yet, right? I mean, it hasn't happened in 12 years, and it doesn't have to happen right now. But a lot of the larger scale Bitcoin mining operations do kind of resemble data centers. They just operate on airside economy. They don't have massive chillers, even when they're out in the desert, right? The desert of Kazakhstan, it's not built that way. It doesn't have to be. right? If you know what you're doing, it's just a different business. Anyway, so here we are taking a look at our top of the line Team Green, 14 cents per kilowatt hour, profitability of 3 days. For me, again, the reason is because I'm taking payouts back on Matic again using Ethermine. It wasn't something I wanted to do initially, but I'm getting a little bit more excited to use dexes like 1inch Dex that supports the Polygon network natively. So I don't know, we'll see. Going to get a deeper dive there to try to figure out if that's to my liking, being able to peg profits to stable coins or flip it into some other coin that I feel more strongly about. And yeah, but we'll see what happens over the next little while. Guys, I don't have eyes on my stats, but I'm just going to ask you, just to ask you, if you're watching right now and you like this video so far, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up and share it with somebody else. Guys, love to have the conversation grow and have more people to interact with and chat with. Again, it's free, right? Pressing the buttons is free, right? What can it hurt? Thanks. So looking back at our numbers here, we've got the top of the line from 1080 Ti, 1660S, 2080 Ti, and 3090. And the grand total is 1281 on Ethereum, with about half of that going to the 3090. Close second place in terms of, well, no, distant second place actually, in terms of native asset that you can mine is Ravencoin. And then a close third to that is Zono still. Zono's still keeping pace. I'm a little bit surprised, guys. Zono's doing really well. A few days ago when I first started to kind of hone in on it again, I thought maybe Zono, it was a bit of a fluke, and maybe that was the case for the price action and the trading volume for that time. But clearly the profits haven't let up. We're on to something here. We're still only on a 3-day average for difficulty for the revenue and for the payouts, right? As far as our profitability. So it's not like it's a 7-day average. It would tell us maybe a different story for Zono, but I'm a little bit surprised by this. And Zono payouts are relatively fast because you do have so many more coins issued every 24 hours. So like right here, for example, you've got over 4 Zono being paid out in that 24-hour period, and that's likely going to hit the threshold, plus the fees are much lower. So you are getting those payouts on a very regular interval. So maybe it's worth taking a closer look at that. Also a really close, actually, by the daily profit, this should probably be the close third is Ethereum Classic. But we got Ethereum Classic, Zono, and Ravencoin kind of neck and neck, right? $8 and change for those three. Guys, tell me that in the comment section. What of those three are you most excited about? Ravencoin? Ethereum Classic? Zono? Very different use cases, right? Ravencoin is much closer to the Bitcoin family. It's a UTXO-based system that is literally forked directly from the Bitcoin repository with all of the other functionality built on top of it. Zono, much closer to CryptoNotes, much closer to Monero, and designed and architected by the guy who initially wrote the CryptoNote spec, right? He helped write the white paper, helped the Bytecoin team way back in the day before Monero was even a thing. So this is legacy development talent in this space, the guy who's helping to write Zono. And he was on my channel last year. You can check out that interview directly with Crypto Zoidberg on this channel. We were the first to have that exclusive. And then Ethereum Classic, right? Obviously an EVM compatible coin that allows you to participate in DeFi as long as those DeFi instruments are available for the Ethereum Classic mainnet. Therein lies the rub. Are any of these three widely used? No, they're not as widely used as Ethereum or Monero or Bitcoin, right? Or even Litecoin or even Dogecoin right now, right? Like to draw some comparisons, guys, right? This is something that for me, this is a little bit difficult to see. I don't have the same kind of faith in Ravencoin that I do in Bitcoin, straight up, or Litecoin even, straight up, because of the inclusion of Mimblewimble into Litecoin and some of that testnet action that's on Litecoin. And I wouldn't say Dogecoin so much. I definitely have stronger faith in the future and direction of Ravencoin over Dogecoin, for sure. But Ethereum Classic, Cryptid Youth, I think he just voiced my opinion very clearly. Like I share that opinion in the comment section. He says, Raven, been burned by Ethereum Classic in the past. So yeah, I'm a little bit between those two. It's a little more clear. However, for me, between those two and Zono, I don't know. I'm not sure. Zono is inherently very useful. It's inherently very private and very fungible. It's a lot more like digital cash than the other two are. Ravencoin is very useful in that you can mint new assets by burning some of the native token, right? So Yeah, it's a tough one, right, guys, in terms of usefulness and in terms of broad user base. Now, John Germain says in the comments section, he's saying Raven has a large transaction base, widely traded. Other coins hardly have an exchange. So, there is a lot more support there, definitely, for Ravencoin as far as the broad trading base. Yeah, I agree. And you can't really refute that. The trading volume is consistent. And we'll take a look at that over on CoinGecko in just a minute here. We saw that a couple episodes ago when we looked a little more closely at the trading history and volume of both Zano and Ravencoin. And it was apparent that, the trading volume of Ravencoin is pretty consistent. However, guys, let's be real. This is cryptocurrency, and this is not me accusing like Tron Black or anybody or Jeremy or anybody at the Ravencoin development team or anybody in the core team of doing anything wrong. However, being in cryptocurrency, we see wash trading all the time, not by core leadership, but by members of the community and bag holders who are like, oh man, I got to make this worth my investment. I got to make sure that I don't lose my shirt, right, on this bag of cryptos. So it's super common to see wash trading consistently, especially if you're on certain exchanges that help you automate wash trading. This is not me accusing Ravencoin of having been wash traded or anybody in the team or the community of wash trading. It's just me acknowledging the facts, right? We've been around the block, guys. 12 years of this stuff, right? We're getting old, right? We're getting tired. 12 years of this stuff. Coins get wash traded. It just happens, right? It's just part of this life. So that's a little bit my concern as well. So long-term prospects of not only trading volume and not just market cap, because market cap by itself is not something you can trade. It's not really an inherently meaningful number, and it doesn't tell you the full story. But usefulness, will people use it a year from now? Because a year ago, looking at Ethereum, it was obvious that people would use Ethereum today. It wasn't obvious that people would use Ethereum Classic today. It wasn't obvious that people would use Ravencoin today. Because even with the whitelisted, right, the secure assets, there were not a lot of institutions or people who took it very seriously and said, yeah, you know what? I really need whitelisted assets on Ravencoin. I need secure assets on Ravencoin. I need to whitelist certain wallets for that. It was a big deal when they did it. Don't get me wrong, but nobody is using it yet. I guess by nobody, I mean, I'm not reading headlines about people talking about how revolutionary it is. Everybody I talk to all the time is asking me about DeFi on Ethereum, not DeFi on Ethereum Classic, right? There's more to the story. Hey, Cryptid Youth says 8 more people need to hit that thumbs up. You know what? I agree. All right. That's our top of the line for Team Green. Let me jump and get that stuff out of the way. Get to our 3060, our 2060, our 1660, and our 1060. So our value and efficiency GPUs for Team Green. And our value and efficiency GPUs for Team Green. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, guys, how's the background music? Background music okay? Bring that decibel level to something that's a little bit better compared to the voice? Got some feedback? I want to make sure that I'm hearing your feedback, and I want to make sure this is the best possible show it can be for you. So give me a thumbs up or an ear, right, or a speaker, right, a little speaker symbol down in the comment section, live chat, if it's the right volume for you. So our value and efficiency play shows Ethereum at the top of the stack, just under $6 for all 4 cards. Ravencoin is our next contender at just, about $4.50. And then Zano behind it with Conflux as the next native asset, but below $4. And then Ethereum Classic way down below. Awesome. Whoa, John Germain is saying there's no background audio at all. I've actually got it down by a significant margin. I'm going to bring it into the above 30 decibel range there so you guys can maybe hear it a little bit, but don't want it too loud. Oof, even that's loud. I can even just see on my VU meters. All right. So guys, Ergo and Conflux well above Ethereum Classic for these value cards, these value and efficiency cards. Ethereum, of course, top of the stack. It's the most dominant coin for you to mine with these value and efficiency cards. I kind of worry about these just a little bit, right? These cards, again, 1060, phenomenal card. Phenomenal card, right? But yeah, as far as it having a future mining after profits dip with Ethereum or profits go away with Ethereum, I'm a little more worried about that. There may be some future in mining Ravencoin, but I don't know. It might not be enough performance to save it. But that's our value and efficiency side of the Team Green lineup. Let's go with a combined 5,000 and 6,000 series cards from AMD. just the 5600 and the 6800. And also Ethereum, top of the list, almost $6, $5.88. Ravencoin, close, distant second, almost $4. Ethereum Classic, relatively close third to Ravencoin at $3.73. And Ergo, still above $3 per day between all those cards. Not bad. About 60% of it going to the 6000 series of those cards. And moving to our top of the line HBM2/Vega series card, the Radeon 7, which again, guys, I don't get tired of saying it. Gotta eat crow. I was wrong about when it came out. Clearly a dominant card. And if you have one, you won the lottery. You just did. And when if you fought to buy one that was closer to MSRP, you're probably a very happy camper. You've probably already earned your money back and then some. So great card. But let's go ahead and calculate profitability for that Radeon 7. And it looks like we're at $5.34 per day. Think about that. That's like having a 6800 XT and a 5600 XT in the same rig. You're earning almost exactly the same amount with one Radeon 7. That's intense. The second place as far as a native coin is Ergo. Third place, Ethereum Classic. They're not very close, though. Ethereum Classic is way down below in the rankings. And then Ravencoin is well below $3, almost at the $2 mark. Something about that core on the Radeon 7, plus the really fast memory and an ultra-wide memory bus, is just not handling Ravencoin the same way that some of the other Vega series cards handle it, right? So just be aware of that when Ethereum mining goes away, really it looks like some other coins may be a better target for you Radeon 7 havers. Lucky dogs. All right, so going from Radeon 7 down to Vega 56, bottom of the line Vega card with HBM2. And we see that very top of the list is nice hash for Auto Lycos. I'm confused by that. But then native coins, the top is Ergo on the Auto Lycos algorithm. Who knew? But clearly that's doing better than Ethereum. Ethereum is only about $2.50 a day, roughly $2.60. Ravencoin, a much lower third place at under $1.50, and then Ethereum Classic above that at $1.58. Hey, thanks Real News 2020. Real News 2020 says this guy's a mining scientist. Everyone subscribe. You know what? I can't disagree with that, guys. Do it for science. Hex yes. There you go. Got you a little air horn. But going back into our lineup here, guys, that's Vega 56. Go with an 8 gig Polaris card. So if you still have your 570s or your 580s, your 470s, 480s with 8 gigs of memory, you're going to get about 30.5 mega hashes on those cards. Scrolling down to see what our profits are like on that card. I just hit calculate because I didn't like the number. Yikes. But we're doing about $1.53 per day on Ethereum, about about 90 cents per day on Ethereum Classic. But you know what? It's not entirely, nope, that is true. It's showing us 30.5 mega hashes on ETH4G too. So that is the real number for Ethereum Classic. Ravencoin at about 77 cents. So definitely the delta there between those two puts Ethereum Classic ahead of Ravencoin on those Polaris Edition cards. Again, they don't have the strongest core, but they're known to be very highly performant on Ethereum mining, right? You can overclock the snot out of that memory, give it a brand new VBIOS with better memory straps, right? Better memory timings, and you can get it to really sing on Ethereum. And of course, that crosses over to Ethereum Classic. But yeah, Ravencoin, not so much, right? It's like trying to get more performance out of a 4-cylinder import car, right? You can only do so much, and then with horsepower to weight, it gets you ahead. But for certain applications, you just need more displacement under the hood, and that's the case for Ravencoin. There's just not enough performance in the core on the Polaris Edition card to make Ravencoin as performant as it is on some of these other coins. So going to our 4 gig cards, and I think I'm going to right here preemptively change that ETH4G number to 30.5. We saw that was a weakness last time. And then calculate Ethereum Classic, 94 cents. How did that change so much between those two cards? It's the same number. It had to have been the power consumption between the two. But 94 cents per day on the 4 gig Polaris cards, and then Ravencoin down below 80 cents per day, with Ergo also at 80 cents per day, and Beam making the stacked ranking at 54 cents per day. Not bad if you're a big time Beam believer. Zono also is also on the list, which is interesting, being a variant of Prog Pow, a bit like Ravencoin. I didn't think it'd be in the profit at all, but there it is. Moving from our Polaris cards down to the R9 Fury. This is a first generation HBM card released by AMD years ago. And because of that HBM, yeah, it kicks butt at mining. So let's take a look at that. JM MJ says 1 hash at a time, baby. Yeah. All right, going down to see what our profitability is here. Ravencoin, top of the list, very high performance core on that R9 Fury with HBM. So even though you've got really fast memory, you'd think that Ethereum Classic would be really high on the list. No, not so much. It's the Prog Pow variants on the R9 Fury. So if you have these ancient cards, you're still making money on Ravencoin and Zono, but more so with Ravencoin at 74 cents per day, Prog Pow, the Prog Pow Z for Zono getting you 63 cents per day, and then Ethereum Classic at just over 50 cents per day, with Ergo still on the list, but not super high. And then, Beam actually 53 cents per day. That's respectable. Right in line with Ethereum Classic. So bit of a surprise there. Pleasant surprise at that. Going from that to the R9 380, again, an ancient card, but not using HBM memory, right? You're going to have a little bit more memory restriction there. Ethereum Classic high on the list at 33 cents. Ergo at 29. Kapow at just barely break even, just above 5 cents. And then Zono with Prog Pow Z, just barely above break even at 2 cents. Not a very strong performer on Prog Pow for the R9 380. Whew, got through that, guys. Let's take a little bit of a breather. Let me know in the comments section again, guys. Let's draw the battle lines. Tell me, which side of the debate do you land on? Is it Raven or is it Ethereum Classic? And tell me why. Don't just tell me which, tell me why. Right? Like, it's one thing to see trading volume. It's one thing to see a big market cap. In my estimation, I won't be swayed by that. I don't think that those are impressive enough to make me interested in one or the other. I got to hear about use cases. What do you think are the use cases for Ravencoin? What do you think are the real world use cases for Ethereum Classic? What are you seeing people actually use them for? What are you hearing your normie friends who aren't really big time into crypto? What are you hearing them say about these projects? Are any of them talking about these projects at all? Because if they are, that's kind of what I want to hear about. That's what I think will sway me to believing, like, okay, well, if retail, right, normies, if they're talking about this, then maybe there's hope for this. Maybe I can start, we'll be able to sell, right, to these people essentially 2 years from now. That's kind of the prognosis, right? 2 years ago, we were mining certain coins that today we're enjoying intense profits from because people are finally starting to catch on. So what do you think it's going to be between Ravencoin and Ethereum Classic? And why, right? Why? What? Validate that decision, right, guys? Let's dig in. Let's think really clearly about this. Let's really dig deep and try to figure out, what are our reasons for putting our weight behind these projects? Because I don't think that everything that was being said about these, the narratives that was being said about these projects from 2 years ago is exactly the same today, except for maybe for Ethereum Classic, because it was meant to do a bit of what Ethereum does, and it still does, despite being hacked a lot. Anyway, you let me know in the comment section, guys. All right, moving from our what to mine figures over to our ASIC numbers on the Antminer S9 at 13.5 terahash at 14 cents per kilowatt hour. It's going to cost you $32,000 to mine one full Bitcoin. Yikes! Ouch! Ouch! Not good. Really not good. In order to actually start making sense financially, you got to be minimum 8 cents per kilowatt hour or below, in my estimation. If we do see below $20,000 Bitcoin in the next little while, you can maintain profitability on that S9 at 8 cent power. Obviously, the lower that power figure, the more profit you bring home. So if you can co-locate at 5 cents, if you can co-locate somehow miraculously at on-site generated power of 3 cents, that's not super common, guys. Really, most of us are very lucky to know somebody who has access to something like that. So if you do, try to figure out how it works. Try to get your rigs right set up over there. It's going to be worth your time, right? Worth the effort and the headache to get your rigs set up on rack space where the cost of power is only 3 cents. But at 3 cents, Maybe. Makes sense to continue with that S9. Benjamin Wilson says, or even 2 smiley face. Yeah, I agree. 2 cent power. I mean, if you can make it entirely renewable, obviously that's the way to go, right? For ASICs like the S9, because then you never have to worry about it. You can set it and forget it. Just run the thing until it literally goes up in flames, right? Or falls apart, right? Or airplane parts crush it, right? Whatever, from the sky, some act of God takes it out of your possession, and just keep on running the thing until it's gone. So yeah, fully renewable, totally the way to go, because you never have to worry about hardware profiles and what we're talking about like this ever again. You can just choose stuff that offers the highest baseline amount every single day. But anyway, I digress. That's our Antminer S9. Let's go over to the MicroBT M20S, which is our other control number, right? We like using that one. And go again to 14 cent per kilowatt hour power. We can go all the way up to 26 cents before we have to shut these things off right now. But at 14 cents per kilowatt hour, you're also mining one full Bitcoin at 18,500 US dollars, right? 18,500 US dollars, which again, for the rest of this market, right? Without giving advice. Oh, have I told you lately that I disclaim you? All right, guys, none of this is legal, financial, or business advice. I'm so sorry that I have to do this, but times being what they are, I have to do this. We all know it's true. It's a bit of a song and dance, right? It's a bit of a joke, but we all know it's true. Accounts and channels get shut down for less. It's ridiculous. But I've got to put it in red and white. Danger. Anyway. If things move sideways and even start to dip the way some of us are thinking it could, even if it goes below $20,000 per Bitcoin, you're probably fine. Even on 14 cent power with this hardware profile. See, $18,500 at 14 cent per kilowatt hour power on the MicroBT M20S. Let's go all the way down to 8 cents like we showed before with the S9. Now you're looking at $10,500, and there are some people who are talking about the sky falling in Bitcoin land, talking about $10,000 Bitcoin. Will we see it? Never say never. I'm not going to say that's impossible. It's totally possible. Totally possible, especially now. We see these numbers. If the bare cost to mine one full Bitcoin for the average person who's mining at scale is $10,000 per Bitcoin, it's totally possible that it could. Totally possible. Not going to say never. Guys, if you recall, back in 2018 on my channel, my brother and I, we talked about how the bare cost to make a Bitcoin could have justified a price of $3,500. Where did we go? Where did we go when it finally corrected and met that bottom support level before coming back up? Yeah, it can go that low. It's not impossible. But for the rest of this bull run, I really don't think so. Benjamin Wilson has some really great wisdom here in the comment section. He says, wick out to 10K, but no candle. I think that's probably true. That could happen. We could touch 10K with a wick out. But as far as people saying oh, it's just going through the floor, we're never going to see it again. And if you bought it at $30,000, you're wrecked. Haha, your wife's going to leave you, and that second mortgage you took out is going to be called, and you're dead. Whoa, it's the end of the world. Guys, we don't need to wring our hands and get all worried, right? It's not that serious. Hey, the Deadwood, thanks for saying hello in the comment section. Good to see more people here in the live chat, guys. Thank you for saying hello. Go ahead and hit me up. We're live, right? What's it gonna hurt? Say howdy. I might say hi back. Actually, I guess that might be painful. So maybe send me an emoji, right? That's easier. There's no real social contract when you send me an emoji, but whatever. We are live, guys. Looking back at these numbers again. 8 cents per kilowatt hour on the MicroBT M20S. I really do think this represents for us what the new floor could ever be moving forward, potentially, right? Potentially. So again, without giving advice, it's just kind of if these market cycles repeat themselves, they might not repeat perfectly, but they might rhyme, so to speak. And if they rhyme well, then I really do think we're looking at the possible, the forever floor of Bitcoin there. And I think that the MicroBT M20S is a really great hardware profile to pay attention to if you're mining Bitcoin specifically. All right, guys, I want to take a look at miningpoolstats.stream. Which coins are we looking at? You've got 30 seconds to tell me in the comment section. Type away really fast, all right? This is not a drill. 30 seconds to tell me exactly which 2 coins we're going to take a look at for mining. And Gundy's saying maybe go see Nemesis and Crypto Mikkel after this. Oh, hey, guys, yeah, we will definitely go raid them in just a second here. I didn't know that Nemesis and Mikkel were going live again. Saw Mikkel earlier today, so I didn't know he was going twice today. But But guys, let me know in the comment section exactly which coins we're going to take a look at over on Mining Pool Stats. Benjamin says Ergo. Guys, we need another one. He was first to say it. You got to say another one. But while you are doing that, let's go ahead and take a look at Ergo right now on miningpoolstats.stream. Oh my gosh. Mark, you're killing me. Mark says ADA over on Mining Pool Stats. That's funny. The wise guy, eh? Yeah. So, guys, if we're looking at Mining Pool Stats, as you know, Cardano is not proof of work mined, so we can't take a look at the, you may not know, we can't take a look at miningpoolstats.stream on what the hash rate is globally for Cardano. It's not secured that way. It runs on proof of stake. So if there are people who don't know, then now you know. But like Benjamin is saying, Ergo and ADA will interpolate. That's true. That is true. And Casual Mining says Epic Cash. Hey, that's a really great one to take a look at as well. We got 3 different algorithms to choose from on Epic Cash, so we can take a look at that as well. Looks like there's quite a bit on Nanopool, and it looks like we are just about at half. We're almost at 50% over on Nanopool, and then Hero Miners, WoolyPulley.com. What? And then wow, these guys just did not get the memo. They're like, hi, yeah, we're a Chinese pool and we want to scare American people. We're called 666 Pool. I mean, like, seriously, what boardroom meeting resulted in a brand like that? Who did that? Where they're like, this is so funny. American people think this is hilarious. We're going to call it 666. You lost us, guys. You did. Anyway, so those are our top mining pools there. Mark asks, seriously, actually, yes. So go on a tiny bit of education here, guys. Yes, the Cardano blockchain is secured through a distributed or delegated proof of work system, proof of stake rather system. So it's not proof of work. We can't see a mining pool contributing the way we would for some of these other projects with Cardano. And in my mind, that's one of the things that makes Cardano a little bit, it's not less secure per se, but it's a different way of securing it. And in my mind, I think that proof of work is superior. That's my take on it. There's a lot of debate between some very intelligent people with really good points for both sides. But I think the proof of work is proven, right? With 12 years of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, proof of work is a proven way to secure a blockchain. It's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more costly. Yes, it does cost something. You have to use electricity. You have to use IT. You have to use power, right? But it does secure blockchains very, very well. So just throwing it out there. Let's see. Real News 2020 asks, I don't even understand proof of stake. How are they supposed to host all these files, NFTs, dApps without miners? Good questions, guys. Yeah, and Benjamin Wilson says, proof of stake plus proof of work is love. I agree. Hybrid systems, they've been proven to work very well. But when it comes to airdropping coins and when it comes to fair launches, so to speak, there are many proof of stake networks now that had to launch with proof of work because the game theory mechanics kind of showed that there's no other way to prove that the earliest wallets aren't just a bunch of bots provisioning new wallets and pretending to be participants on the network and saying, give me coins too, and then being consolidated into a larger whale's wallet after the fact. Proof of stake airdrops to brand new participants in a fair launch, they can be gamed. They can be cheated. And proof of work, it proves that people who are contributing to the network security, that their wallet is one that deserves to receive coins because it's contributing to security, right? They didn't just show up with a handout like, all right, cool. Or with their palm up. Like, I want new coins because you're airdropping to everybody, right? Very, very different. And when the network first launches, proof of work has proven to do that better. Dash did it that way, even though it's proof of, they have a masternode system now. Various other coins that are now proof of stake launched with proof of work or went through a proof of work phase initially for the initial distribution. So it's kind of tough, right? Anyway, I hope that's a bit educational for anybody who's watching and questioning proof of stake versus proof of work. There's not just a security element. There's also a game theory element when first onboarding users and distributing the initial coins in a fair launch. So a lot of reasons for going with proof of work, guys. All right. We got Ergo here, and we're not charting it per se. We're taking a look at the hash rate, the global net hash. We're just below 13 terahash for Ergo on the Auto Lycos algorithm. And Nanopool rules the day, right? Nanopool is over 50% of the hash rate. That's normally a no-no. So if you're looking at it, maybe consider Hero Miners. It looks like it's a little bit less expensive. Plus, it offers two different types of mining as well. Not only prop mining, but solo mining. PPLNS is represented over on woollypoly.com. So if you prefer PPLNS, then maybe that's a better way to go. You might be thinking, well, it's not getting as frequent payouts. It doesn't have as high a hash rate. That doesn't really affect whether or not you earn coins. It may occasionally affect how frequently you're paid out, but even that is pretty rare when you're talking about these large pools. So really, I think you're okay with either one, but definitely if you're looking at this and you're considering Nanopool versus these others, really, if you care about these projects, maybe get off Nanopool and look at Hero Miners or woollypoly.com. All right, the other coin that we have been asked to take a look at on miningpoolstats.stream is Epic Cash. All right, let's take a look. Epic Cash. And you see three algorithms here. This is kind of a cool thing, guys. Kind of cool. So story time when I interviewed the things like the jazz hands there. Story time. The Anon dev for Epic Cash, Max Freeman, who has actually changed his public name and has asked me to take his previous interview down, which is weird because it was backed up to Library and Odyssey and so many other places, right? The internet never forgets. So if you brand yourself one way, prepare to be branded that way for a long time. But in interviewing the lead dev for Epic Cash, we talked about why they did that, and they did that so that various different hardware profiles can contribute. One would be GPUs, one is CPUs, and one is ASICs. And the three different algorithms that they use are ProgPow, Cuckoo, and RandomX, just like Monero, just like Zano and Ravencoin, and just like, well, Grin, right? The ASIC mineable side of Grin. All right, Cryptid Youth is asking in the comment section, what do you think about ZIL? And Real News 2020 says merge mining ETH and ZIL. Guys, I'm just going to say that in running the numbers with the MEV, the included MEV payouts of ethermine.org, I find that it was really no more beneficial for me to merge mine ETH and ZIL from before. And ZIL is probably harder to move into the markets. It's not that it's illiquid. It's not that there's no trading volume at all. It's just that ETH is entirely permissionless in DeFi. And I thought, okay, if I'm getting paid the same amount, I'd rather get paid entirely into a permissionless DeFi ecosystem and not worry about ZIL at all. Real talk. I realize that it's part of Unstoppable Domains and that it may help you to get a domain name registered with them through their domain name, their naming service on Unstoppable Domains, but I got a free one during the initial airdrop. Like, it's actually kind of funny. It's literally mineyourbi.zil. MineyourBizil. I just wanted to pick it up because it seemed, seemed like a good idea at the time, guys. Don't make fun of me. All right, so looking back here at Epic Cash, the ProgPow side of their algorithm represented, wow, a lot over on 51pool.online. And it appears as though they're just extra dominant, guys. That's more than 50% of that hash rate. But here is why they went with the three algorithms. It doesn't matter that there's more than 51% of all of the hash rate on one pool for the GPUs, because they also have the CPUs and the ASICs, and each one of them is equally weighted. So even if there were only one pool for the ASICs and only one pool for the CPUs and only one pool for the GPUs, and that went up to 100% of the hash rate, none of them could obtain 51% of the total net hash, unless, of course, it was just one person running a GPU/ASIC mining farm that was able to dominate the entire hash rate. So there's always that, right, guys? Like, things always, like developers say, like, oh, this is brilliant. Nobody can outthink me, right? I've got the biggest brain ever. And then, one person comes along with a data center full of mining gear, and they're like, yep, you're wrecked. Boom. Right, the finger of Allah, boom, dead. Anyway, so, but going back to, come on now, Epic Cash, and we'll go to the Cuckoo side of it, and total net hash there is 6.3 GPS, right? Which is how it is measured. 51pool.online is also the most dominant pool there. So that's interesting, with epicmine.org really, really low in that ranking, but it's there, still available. Let's take a look at the RandomX side and see what the numbers are there. Oof, they're only at 604 kilohash. 604 kilohash. Now, I don't know what the payouts are for Epic Cash. I love that this came up, guys. I don't know what the payouts are for Epic Cash right now, but based on these numbers, it is entirely possible for a relatively small mining operation to totally own all of the block reward. Now, they might not be able to fully do a reorg. No, they should be able to, actually. They'll be able to own like almost like half or more of the payout, right, of every block reward. So interesting there, but same players again, right? 51 Pool Online and epicmine.org. They're represented on both these as well. Looks like epicmine.org, though, is a much bigger player for the CPU mineable side of the coin. Very, very interesting. Casual Miner mentions in the live comments that Ezil pool is still paying for ETH payouts, so that's something. Well, here's the thing. All of the different pools are paying for ETH mining payouts right now. It's going to be post EIP 1559 that many of them change, right? That many of them stop. And unless we get an official statement from the Ezil pool stating clearly that they will continue to pay for ETH mining payouts, then we don't know for sure, right? It's possible they could change also, and that they might assess those fees to miners after EIP 1559. After the London hard fork goes live, possible they'll change. Don't know. Anyway, so guys, that's Epic Cash. Very low hash rate on Epic Cash. I don't know what the profitability is on Epic Cash right now. Maybe we take a look at that. You know what? We do something I don't often do. I'm going to search live. Not with my screen there, right? I don't want to pull up. I don't want to pull a terrible, like unmaneuverable bad PR move here. So taking a look at miner stats, this is a great tool for when we have a more esoteric coin that what to mine doesn't have really good numbers for. Let's look for Epic Cash. Oh, come on now. Really? Seriously? No. Wow. It's just not showing at all. It used to show. I'm very confused here, guys. Yeah, I'm actually very confused. So let's take a look here. Ooh, hardware. Looking into the hardware profile here. GPU mining. No. That's not right either. We should be able to... There we go, under algorithms. Take a look under algorithms, and now let's take a look at RandomX. That ought to let us know. Or Cuckoo. Cuckoo cycle, and it is not showing anything. Strange. Nice hash Cuckoo cycle, Eternity, and then B pool, but not Epic Cash. What's going on there? And let's jump back and take a look at RandomX, because I don't want to spend too much longer on this segment because we're kind of slowing down a little bit, and I don't want to keep you guys hostage here. But RandomX, let's take a look at this as well. All right, we got XMR, we got Quantum Resistant Ledger via BTC, XMR, F2 pool, XMR. So pooled mining there, Nano pool. No, not available here. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know where I'm going to be able to see a mining profitability calculator for Epic Cash, but it looks like based on the hash rate, there are still people contributing, but there might not be enough profitability in the ecosystem to be able to pay some of these services to keep listing them. That's part of the game, right, guys? It's like exchange listings, being on CoinMarketCap or whatever else. Coins have to pay to play. That's just how it is. Hey, Jungle John, I see a comment down in the live stream saying, yo, you persuaded me to start mining again. Haha, fascinating stuff. Hey, I agree. Really, like, this is fascinating stuff. I mean, could you have imagined this 15 years ago? Somebody saying like, hey, do you know that gaming rig you have over there? I know it's not like running anything super fancy, whatever. You're still running like Quake 2, right? Or like whatever else. You were like, yeah, I love Unreal. So cool, right? I still got my own copy of Hexen or whatever it was you were playing, right? Like still playing Doom 2 or whatever on emulators and stuff. But you had your gaming rig back then. If somebody just told you, hey, when you're not gaming, your desktop at home can make money. It can make coins for you. That would have been a total mind blow, right? Would you have believed it? It's crazy. right? This is crazy. We live in such a charmed world. The fact that this is possible is amazing. Anyway, but I'm not seeing epic cash here on the calculator, guys. I think it's time to cut bait there. Let's take a look at our GPU mining portfolio really fast. And we see right here, Ren BTC, all of our wrapped Bitcoin representations are doing best. We're going back up with that trend reversal, right? We'll take a look at that in a minute. But Ren BTC and wrapped Bitcoin, we're almost back at the $1,000 that we put into this paper portfolio weeks ago. Ethereum is still, of course, in third place, which is really kind of a second place because these are both tied. And then Matic, Aave, interest-bearing wrapped ETH. Whew, there it is. I said it. It's there. Zano, really high on the list still. It's amazing. Zano's doing phenomenally well because of this last week with really weird spikes, but it looks like a true trend, a true support line with that trend underneath going up. So it's doing well over the last week. Ethereum Classic up 20.5% over this week as well, just recovering really well, recovering better than even Ethereum. And then Ravencoin only recovering by 5% and dipping over the last 24 hours. Not sure why that is, guys, but there you go. Jungle John says, just to clarify, I'm running a 2070 Super. That's a phenomenal card, John. That's a great card. Yeah, in your spare time, you can absolutely get that thing to work on Ethereum for you. So, but yeah, Ravencoin, not super strong recovery this week. That could be why some of the profits are low too, but that shouldn't really that shouldn't affect us too heavily if the net hash hasn't changed too much and the difficulty hasn't changed too much. But coin price does affect us on some level. It does, and it can affect us adversely. If all of the other things stay equal, if coin price goes down, then we do tend to earn less if everything else stays equal. So maybe that's why. All right, bottom of the stack is still Haven, but not quite as bad, right? 72% down, still well over $3 in coin. And frankly, I'm still looking at this as a victory for people who want to stick with it and try to see it through. Still, in my mind, without giving advice, I still see great entry points, still see great buying opportunities here with Haven being so low in the stacked ranking. Swap has some really weird trading patterns there. Like, I don't know what that formation is off to the far left of the swap chart, but that looks unnatural. That looks inflated. It just straight up looks wash traded. Don't know what's going on there, but the total market cap is below $500,000 anyway. I mean, straight up, if you owned $100,000 worth of swap, you couldn't move it. You would utterly destroy the coin. It'd be gone if you tried to move that. You have to hold right now anyway. So if you're stuck with swap bags, I feel for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a swap bag ain't one. Oh! It's down at the bottom of the list, guys. Sorry. That's what happens when you're down at the bottom of the list. You get the bad jokes. You get the dad jokes. Just how it is. So, BitTube also recovering over 21% for the week. Not doing bad at all. But still, still kind of struggling. Not gonna lie, that's still struggling, and it's a weird looking chart. Still gets weird spikes on some of these smaller market cap coins. Don't know what's going on there. I'm not gonna call it interference, except for maybe on swap, because it's such a low market cap. You got these whales that can just do crazy things. But that's our GPU mining side of the portfolio. Let's go to the hard drives, guys. Somebody was asking me earlier, like, hey, well, how about Chia? Let's look at Chia right now. Guys, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I can't go back to like Chia prison, really. Making that content, everyone like, I hate you, you're saying mean things about my coin. And I felt bad, right? Because it was true. I was saying mean things about people's coin. They were true things, but I was saying mean things about people's coin, and they were saying upset things with me. And I don't really like that sometimes. But yeah, with Chia, we'll just keep track of it here in the portfolio. How about that? Total P&L is down 25.43%. Made safe still way up there like a champ since the time we put in that $1,000 into the paper portfolio, up 10% over the last 7 days. And then Chia still dragging. I mean, everything else has come up. The 7 day for almost everything else is positive, and it's dragging. You know what though? What's joined it, we got a little bit of a reversal here, is Signa, or the old Burst Coin project. It's down by 17% this week as well. So something is really not going right there. Don't know what it is, but I do understand that the Burst Coin project has had some changing of leadership, and it's also had some struggles. Maybe this rebrand has kind of thrown some people. Maybe the brand recognition of Burst Coin was a good thing for them. Maybe it was a net positive, and maybe we're starting to see some backlash, some unintended consequences. Maybe. That's my best guess right now, guys. Maybe you know something about Burst Coin /Signum that I don't. So let me know in the comment section if you do. All right. I'm seeing some comments come into the live stream or live chat saying, is Chia a good thing really? Profitable? And well, I'm just going to say, so I was a whistleblower early on, guys. If you don't know the history, I was a whistleblower early on. There are some videos on my channel that are, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty direct, and they're literally titled, "You Will Fail at Chia Mining." I was the only person that said that on YouTube. But it turned out to be right for a lot of people who have hundreds upon hundreds of plots for Chia, or thousands of plots for Chia. I mean, they have many, many terabytes plotted for Chia and who were not able to get any coins at all. Cryptid Youth is one of the success stories, and I'm genuinely happy for everybody who succeeded at Chia, guys. I am. If you're making money in these markets, I am happy for you. I'm going to be your biggest fan. Just know that, guys. I want to see you win. But from where I was standing, when I first took a look at the calculator for Chia, it became apparent to me that a lot of people at our scale, right, small to mid scale, with just a bunch of hard drives at home, a lot of people would lose. And so I just blew the whistle really early. Mining Chamber asks one of the most important questions of the day. He says, is your beard real? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. It's actually a little bit wily right now. You can see a little salt in that pepper there. Yes, my beard is real. It is real. Here's the thing, guys. You can't choose whether or not you're born with an ugly face, but you can hide it with a beard. You can choose that. So I chose the latter. Anyway. Oh, I called you Mining Chamber. I'm sorry, MC. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I just saw MC and I thought Mining Chamber. There you go. I'm an old guy, right? So sometimes the mind doesn't work as quickly as it should. But yeah, guys, so that's kind of the history of Chia. I started did some content on the channel that was kind of negative, right? It really was negative. I was a whistleblower and I was a conscientious objector, and then I was very vocal about it, saying, look, I think there could be some problems here. I think that the total net space of Chia is going to grow so fast that it'll be difficult for the person who's casually entering to earn any coins. And that wound up being true. It also wound up coinciding with that steep market dip, which I couldn't have foreseen. Right? Nobody could have foreseen that. So I'm not pretending to be some clairvoyant, right? Like witch doctor voodoo. I know which coins are going to win. I can't pick winners, right? Who can? None of us has a perfect crystal ball in these markets. But it did seem obvious that if the trends continued, and the net space growth on Chia was exponential. And I was one of the first people who drew attention to that too. We're in this side of the portfolio, guys, so it's okay. I'm all right with having this little detour. But like, yeah, I was one of the first people who just mentioned, like, no, it's exponential growth, and it was growing at that time at over 100% every week. Nobody was admitting to that. I was the first person to just say, like, hey, the emperor has no clothes. So there you have it. There's history. Joe Cosio asks in the comments, or just says, enjoyed the session vid and working towards graphene swap on the phone. That's awesome, guys. If you can be like prevailed upon to get more secure, get rid of anything that's running stock Android, right? And get yourself some kind of a phone that allows you to at least run something like Lineage OS, but better still, I showed you before on the website, I sell something that I call the Freedom Phone. It is a Pixel device with a more secure OS like Calyx OS or Graphene OS. That is your best option. You can relock the bootloader. So even if somebody gets physical access to your phone, it's a lot harder to penetrate and get to the things that you're trying to keep securely on that phone. Anyway, so John Clayton also sounds off in the comment section saying, I have about 1,100 plots on Chia. So far have won 0.7 Chia. Not profitable, ... So, yeah, that was my story. I've stuck by it the entire time, guys. I called that. The net space was going to just grow too fast. So I'm so sorry for the guys who got hit, the people who got hit hard, and I'm happy for the people who won, right? Like, it's great. Let's see. The Deadwood says, do you like the service? Rather, can you use your own provider? Yeah. So if you're asking about this, you can use your own provider. These are GSM enabled phones. So it's T-Mobile or AT&T only. It's not Verizon capable, but I'm here to tell you Verizon is, they're like the literal devil. They're pretty nasty. So probably worth changing anyway. And most of the MVNOs, the mobile virtual network operators, so services like Virgin Mobile or like Boost Mobile, Mint Mobile, services like that, most of them just rent their spectrum. They rent the carrier time from AT&T and T-Mobile anyway. So yeah. Gundy's Stuff and Things says, Freedom Phone, you do a vid? Link me. You know, I did not do a video on it. I need to do a dedicated one on it, but that's the link directly to the product there. Let me jump out of the way and finish up our portfolios here, though, guys. I feel like I'm talking a little bit too much about this. I am going to be talking, I think, probably with Crypto Wendio and then probably with BitBoy next week about what I've made here. And I don't know. You guys tell me. If I were to rename this something other than Freedom Phone, what do you think would be a good name? Right? What do you think? Tell me in the comment section. This is not a giveaway or whatever. I'm going to give you a high five. I'll give you a pat on the back. If I see you in person, right, I'll let you touch my beard so you know it's real. Whatever, right? Like, gentleman's bet. But let me know, what do you think is a great name for this phone? I'd love to hear from you guys. I would love for the community to name it. The same way we named that coin that I launched 3 years ago. We called it Canary Coin. You guys remember that? That was fun. Anyway, let me know in the comment section. So back to our portfolio. Our hard drive portfolio it's still kind of like carrying it. But let's go to our CPU mineable coins, and it looks like our total profit and loss there is negative 32.92%. We're still up over the last 24 hours in the portfolio by 6.5%, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot because our lowest entrance is still Wire Narrow, and it's still pretty low, frankly. It is. I love that they're going to solo mining. We did see, I think, probably a related pump to that yesterday. Varus coin is... Man, that lower support line is still just so low, and we're seeing the 24-hour number go way up, but it's obviously this giant pump, and it's coming right back down, I think, straight back to that level that it's had for support over the last 7 days. That's rough. I don't know what's going on there, but I feel really bad for Varus coin. Anyway, that's a bummer there. Monero is up over the last 24 hours, up a little bit over the last week, but really, that's not a whole lot. It's just like it's making its way up slowly with a lot of the rest of the market, right? It's clawing for market cap again. And then Raptorium is still at the very top of the list, almost back to the $1,000 that we put in initially. That's cool. Really, really cool. Hey, Big Piggy, if you're watching, Raptorium team, if you're watching, great job. Keep up the good work. I know you're working hard. It's very clear that this is worth it. According to our mining stats from before, I don't know that I would recommend that everybody go and mine Raptorium. There might not be enough of an opportunity for everybody who wants to participate, but clearly it's going to be good for some additional CPU miners who want to get started. So, all right, that's our CPU mining portfolio. Take a look finally at our ASIC portfolio, and top of the list is still Decred. We're getting above the $900 mark. The total P&L is negative 31.11%, and our 24-hour change, not up by much, right? We're pretty much null. Over 24 hours, this portfolio here, not so great. See that? You just wouldn't have done very well holding this basket of coins over the last 24 hours. Kind of a bummer. But top of the stack is Decred, almost holding, parity for what we put in initially. And then bottom of the stack is Horizon. Interesting. Most of the formations that we see across all these charts, I'm starting just at a glance, they look very similar. See that upward channel moving up over the last 48 hours and doing really well over the last 48 hours. And then Dash looking kind of weird there. I said that before the other day. Dash is just looking weird, but those Dash masternode operators, man, they are old money. As old money as you can find in cryptocurrency. Really, they're like old school Bitcoin whales, only running masternodes, right? They are serious about keeping their profits up. They are serious about protecting not only the security of their network, but protecting the value of their coins. There are some people in the Dash ecosystem. I mean, look at that market cap, right? Over $1.5 billion or almost $1.5 billion. There are people in that ecosystem who are bona fide millionaires and who have masternodes that are their source of income, their main source of income. That's a reality in the Dash ecosystem. It's a very unique animal. So I'm not surprised when I see weird trading formations and weird trading volume formations in Dash. That just tells me that that's the ecosystem of that community, or that community taking care of its business, right? They're like mafiosos. Does not me saying anything bad about Dash, by the way. If anybody here in the audience is a Dash whale, I really like Dash a lot. It's my favorite coin. Okay. All right, moving on. So, guys, that's our ASIC mining portfolio. Basically, in a nutshell there, Pirate Chain obviously also is pretty low still in the rankings, but that looks like a much more organic move up. I saw some stuff that matched the Varus chart from before looking kind of funny. I wasn't really sure what to make of that before, but Pirate Chain, this looks a lot more organic. This matches more what the rest of the market is doing right now. So I don't know what's happening with Pirate Chain. I apologize. I'm not super dialed in with Pirate Chain. So anybody who is, feel free to set the record straight. Feel free to do some outreach and be on the channel. I'd love to talk to you about it more. It's a very interesting project. Obviously, it has the interest of people like Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, who's also a very big Monero advocate, very big privacy advocate, runs the event Anarchapulco every year, and seems like a super cool guy. He's interested in Pirate Chain, so there must be some merit to it, right? And like ongoing. And I remember in our community on the Mind Your Biz Discord channel, we had some very early miners in the Pirate Chain ecosystem who did very, very well, right? So we know people have done well in this ecosystem. We know people are continuing to be very supportive of it. So yeah, if you guys want to do some outreach, let's talk in the future, but their near future. That's the ASIC mining portfolio there, guys. Again, not super strong overall. We didn't really do super well. So unless you were trading to try to get more out of this portfolio, you didn't really earn very much. Let's go back in reverse order. CPU, just take a look at the 24-hour change again. With CPU mining coins, you were up by over $150, and then by hard drive mining coins, the 24-hour change was not super impressive either. Again, MadeSafe coin carrying the portfolio. Chia coin dragging it down like an anchor, weighing about its neck. And then the GPU mining portfolio, the 24-hour change is quite a bit higher, right? Even though our P&L is lower, we get a much bigger basket here, first off. So a much bigger basket of coins. That's going to throw things off just a little bit, guys. But I just think there's more opportunity too. There's more volatility, more exciting stuff going on with GPU mining. I think it's not a surprise to me that that's happening. But let's take a look at our BTC chart, guys. I'm excited to see what Bitcoin did. Not in the way that Peter McCormick is excited to see what Bitcoin did. I'm excited to see what it actually did. All right, we're over here on tradingview.com. This is the chart we've been working at. This is the line that we drew, the channel that we drew last time we were on the channel together. And let me move that over just a little bit. You can see this was the formation that we were looking at before, where it broke out to the downside of this channel. And there's that channel. Kind of, I know we had some breakouts downward from that channel. And then this is the longer term trend, right? We'll zoom way out, way out. We see the 30 to 40, roughly 30 to 40K channel is what it's been moving in this entire time. When it first broke 30K, it was euphoria, right? We were excited. It was cake and champagne everywhere, every night, all the time. And people were just ecstatic to see that Bitcoin, that we validated it. We broke through the previous all-time high. We were no longer stuck near 20K. We had the ability, right? We had the stamina to go way beyond 25K, punch up into 30Ks, and we've largely stayed there, right? Above 30K the entire time. And then it broke up above 40,000. You see that massive jump there? And again, the volume that goes with it down here. Look at that volume. Boom. Massive buying volume there. And then this pump way up above. And then we got above 50K, and we ranged largely in 50K for a while, right? With a head and shoulders up here. And then, yes, breaking through 60K, but 50 to 60 in between here. We lived there for a minute too, right? That was exciting times right there from mid-February all the way to mid-May. Exciting times, right? Like the full 2 months of really expensive Bitcoin. And then, yeah, we saw those trends go down. We saw a death cross right there. The 50-day moving average crossing the 200-day moving average, and then everything kind of got pulled down. And now here we are moving into present day, but not breaking out of that 30 to 40K channel that we started with, right? Casual mining. He's getting excited. You know, I think you asked me earlier before about the Cadena miner. There you go. Oh, so casual guys. Let's just give a little round of applause to casual mining. Casual mining's really excited about a purchase that they just got, the Cadena miner, the KD5. So there you go, guys. give casual mining the claps, right? In the comment section, live comments. Was able to pick up a brand new miner, add a new little one to the family. So that's always exciting. An exciting time for a miner. But yeah, new miner going to a new home. But guys, we're still ranging sideways in that 30 to 40K. But then we drew this channel here, right? See that? I got it really closely dialed in. I didn't go all the way down to the bottom of our candlesticks to try to see where we wicked out, because we did wick out of this channel earlier, right? And then we did dip below in the actual candlesticks with that dip down to 29,000, right? But the rest of this channel here, I'm just trying to get to the very center of it, because I wanted to get to where we were most recently, and then just pull that back a bit. But the most recent waves here, this channel kind of showed that we were maybe on our way back towards, like, organically down, but then the 50-day moving average did this massive curve up. I mean, that's like a quarter pipe. It's not even like a launch ramp. It's not even like a kicker. Man, if you tried to take that on a skateboard, you'd be dead, right? Like, Tony Hawk wouldn't touch this thing. Look at that. Boom. Right? Straight up. And we got a golden cross today. A little golden cross. Boom. 50-day punching back up above the 200-day. Now, I'm not going to pretend to have like this really deep TA skill set yet, but I'm looking at this right now, and it makes me pretty excited to see how it's a vertical cross of the 200-day moving average. That's pretty exciting. Ooh, we got some questions in the comment section. We'll come back to that in just a second here. Let me finish up taking a look at this chart. But we see that right here, we broke out of that downward channel that we had drawn to. So we're not constrained to the trend of what we were seeing before. I think also, yeah, it's kind of low volume. You look at the volume down here, it's kind of low volume. I get that. So maybe this doesn't stick. Maybe this price doesn't stick. But this right here, pulling back up from 29K, that volume is real. That volume is strong. And that, I think, is what has helped us correct all the way back up and see this micro golden cross here. And then being able to pull up above. If we see more volume come in over the next 24 hours, right, over the weekend and into Monday, then that has me optimistic that we're going to stay above 32K for a while. And I don't think we run any risk of coming right back up to retest the resistance level of 40K for this channel. I don't know if I see that, right? Yeah, I really don't. But this is cool, guys. It's just cool to see. Again, like, people who are like actively trading for a living, they're making money no matter which way things are going. For us, a lot of us who are miners, we're kind of hodlers by nature, a little bit more so. And so we're usually just along for the ride, which is why it's that much more exciting to see the number go up, right? I love taking a look at this towards the end. Again, none of this is financial business or legal advice, but we are taking a look at charts and drawing lines on charts. Let's be real. That's fun, right? It's fun. And it's especially fun when you look at charts and you're like, could it be that we're going to move this direction? And without expectations, right? In a very Zen way, very Taoist kind of way, just like drawing charts with no solid expectation, no solid sense of ownership. And then you find that things are better than what you thought. That's awesome. Really. It's awesome. It's fun to look at, right? It's fun to see. You love to see this stuff. So anyway, yeah, this is exciting to see for me. Real News 2020 says, my wife says she'll call off the divorce if Ethereum goes above 2,800. You know what? Here's the thing, man. If she doesn't understand how valuable that Ethereum is to you right now, really let her go. Because if she's just after the crypto, you'll never hear the end of it. And when it goes parabolic at some point in the future, or 3 years from now, next cycle, right? 5 years from now, then she'd have half your crypto anyway, right? Just let her go. Let her think that the crypto is not valuable. Again, here we go. Not divorce advice either, right? Not divorce advice, but let her go. Just saying. Anyway, marry one that actually understands the importance of crypto in your life. But Benjamin Wilson says, fib resistance arcs are friendly. I was looking at applying a a trend-based fib extension here, but I don't know that I feel confident enough in being able to anchor those points here to get really useful data out of it. Like we've got that dip downwards and then the reversal. So I don't really understand technical analysis well enough to be able to know that I should apply a trend-based fib extension here, but it's a tool that I'm getting a little more comfortable with. So again, guys, over time, I want to kind of like go on this journey with you. I don't want to make it weird by being like, hey, look, I'm drawing lines on a chart and they definitely mean something and you should go trade because of it. Like, nah, that's not what I'm getting at, right? I am just trying to learn though. And I want to try to use these tools, with some intelligence. So trying to learn to know exactly when that applies. Like, hey, I'm also not asking you to join a paid group either, right? So there's that. But that's our chart. We're going to keep adding to it, guys. We're going to keep trying to make this better. We're going to try to learn more tools, learn more tactics, understand better when to use those tools and tactics. But anyway, that's our chart for today. Let me do a little bit of Q&A, guys, before we call it a night. Had some questions coming in from Jungle John. Right? I appreciate you asking questions, man. Really, I'm flattered that you'd ask me a question and even care about what I had to say, man. Real talk. I'm just another dude behind a camera talking to a bunch, largely other dudes, like very, very few women by the numbers, but one dude talking to another dude about being a dude, minding dude things. All right, so channel my inner Tropic Thunder there. I'm just a dude playing another dude, trying to be a dude. Anyway, but you asked me a question about the green wallet on iPhone. It's funny you mentioned green wallet. My favorite crypto wallet, or Bitcoin wallet specifically. Let me open this up on what I'm currently calling the Freedom Phone. This, by the way, is that's $1 million in cash seized by the FBI. And that is a largely obscured message on Messenger. But I've got some Bitcoin wallets, and one of the Bitcoin wallets, or here's the two Bitcoin wallets that I use. I use Samurai Wallet and I use Blue Wallet. Why do I use those two wallets? Samurai Wallet has a whirlpool feature, basically a Bitcoin mixing feature built in. It's awesome. Really, it's the best thing going for privacy on Bitcoin. So that takes a little bit of time, and that's good. It's initializing onion routing first before it even launches the wallet, before it ever touches the Bitcoin network to query anything on my behalf. It does so over Tor. That's why I use Samurai Wallet. The other Bitcoin wallet that I use is called Blue Wallet. And Blue Wallet, let me make sure I don't have anything that's incriminating here before I show you guys anything on my screen. I like Blue Wallet. There we go. Here's a little something. I like Blue Wallet because you can very easily add what's called an XPub key. And there we go. On Blue Wallet, I can just track different transactions that happen on other wallets. So it's just a cold view only wallet. It's not a hot wallet. I'm not sending anything from Blue Wallet. If I wanted to, I could. But if I would rather if I'd rather just pay attention to another wallet address or just one account, I can do that. So Charlie Brown asks in the comment section, a question if I may, sir. If I donated $1,000 worth of the finest Chia coin, would you consider possibly sending a small snippet of your beard via FedEx? Well, I might consider it. But I think I'd have to send it via, Pony Express. Pony Express. They're all the rage, I hear, in the western states, in the colonies. Yes, rather. Right, so, guys, Blue Wallet, that's what I use for Bitcoin. There are some other wallets that I use as well. We'll go over that at another time. But you asked about Green Wallet in particular, John, and I'm not a big fan of Green Wallet. Just not. I like Samurai Wallet and I like Blue Wallet for Bitcoin. Auto Vapes asks, does the coin mixer cost in transactions? Yes, it does. It does. Yeah. So the Samurai Whirlpool mixer, it does cost you a bit to use, but that's the cost of privacy on Bitcoin. It costs more. So privacy on Bitcoin is a rich man's game. Straight up. I'm just going to call that what it is. Frankly, privacy on Ethereum is kind of a rich man's game too, if you want to use Tornado Cash. And there's no really good mobile client for it other than navigating to it within the MetaMask browser. So for example, I'm going to open up MetaMask here, and it's opening at the speed of MetaMask if you've used the MetaMask mobile wallet, right? It's not this super fast, high performance browser. But here we go. Put in the code there, and all right. So let me open up an old account too, or an account that just doesn't Doesn't show anything. All right, so here's an empty account on Ethereum in MetaMask, and come on now, phone. So I've got listing for ETH, listing for Tether, listing for USDC. You may be able to see that. I do not have some of the auto settings on this camera set up, but if I move into my menu off to the side, boop, along the side menu, there is a setting for a browser. And in that browser, yeah, I know. It's a bummer. Let me see if I can fix that real fast, guys. I should be able to. Advanced settings. Here we go. Exposure. We bring it down. Now you can see the screen very nicely, right? You see it. Okay. So I'm in a browser right now. It's a tabbed browser, just like you would have on, say, like Chrome or something else for a mobile phone. It's tabbed, and I can open up Tornado Cash right here, and I can use that just as though I'm on the desktop, but with the convenience of mobile. So I could use Tornado Cash to make Ethereum very private, the same way that mixers make Bitcoin private. But again, that costs quite a bit also because of the number of transactions that need to be gone through. They need to be routed through Tornado Cash. And we saw on TX Street, you can just pull it up one more time. Saw on TX Street that for that median contract value, it's at least $4.60 right now. It could be much higher than that, but you do several mixing operations and it adds up. It's like being on Uniswap and constantly running contracts. Like when you're approving something and then you're committing liquidity and then you're pulling, you're stopping liquidity and you're taking one side of the pair out. Right, it just costs more, right? It costs more to be fully private on these networks versus coins like Monero. At any rate, guys, we've been going for a little while. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. We've been streaming for quite a while. Went a bit longer than I thought we were going to. Don't want to abuse your attention. Saturday night, guys. Go have a great Saturday night. I'm gonna have a great Saturday night with my family. I want you to do the same. I want you guys to have a great Saturday night. You promise me, you're gonna have fun. Okay? Don't get caught up just watching stuff on YouTube. Have some fun. Connect. All right? I love your face. I'll see you in the next one. Remember to stay private. Mind your biz.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.